Hello and welcome guys to my channel which is named Any Psychology. So today I am here after a very long time in a very interesting video topic. The name is Lateralization of Brain, Left and Right Hemisphere Brain Functions. So today we are going to know about that in this video. So let's start our topic. From the very outlook, first off we will start what is brain lateralization. So let's see what is the definition of brain lateralization. Brain lateralization refers to the idea that different sections of the brain are responsible for different skills and behaviors. Like we all know that brain is divided into two parts, which is left side and right side. So both left and right side are individually very much responsible for other things, which is individually divided into both parts. Psychology overgeneralizes this idea to suggest that different people are defined as left-brained or right-brained. The theory is that people are either left-brained or right-brained, meaning that one side of the brain is dominant, like one side of the brain is more dominant than the other side. So they can call either left-brained person or a right-brained person. So when the brain is divided into two parts, which is left and right sides hemispheres individually, and the people are known as left brain side or right brain sided person, so that is the theory which is known as brain lateralization. Now let's go more deep in this topic. So lateralization of brain function is the view that functions are performed by distinct of regions of the brain. Hemispheric lateralization is the idea that each hemisphere is responsible for different functions. We used to think that our brain works in a proper and a single way, but today we got to know that our brain is divided into two parts, which is left and right sides of hemispheres, and now we are going to know what are the characteristics of the left brain and right brain, and also the functions of both of them. The human brain is split into two hemispheres, right and left, as we all know. Brain lateralization refers to the idea that the right and left sides of both of brains are specified for certain skills, and each one of them has their own individual different works. The left and right sides process information differently and control different patterns of our behavior, which is related to our brain. Now we must have thought sometimes like why the brain is divided into two parts. It's just one function of our body. It's just look like a one brain. Then how it is divided into two parts? It's not like cut in from the middle, but the two sides of the brain is very much look like same, but it works both sides, like left and right works both very individually and very differently from one and another. So it just look like one brain, but it is very much scientifically divided into two parts, which is we are going to discuss about that in this topic. We have to know that whatever in our daily lives we are doing, each of the functions are localized to either the right or left side of brain. Whatever we are doing, whatever we are pursuing in our daily lives, whether it's coming from the left side of the brain or right side of the brain. And as you can see on the screen, brain lateralization is discussed above, which is divided into left and right part of the brain, which is both individually works differently. So left side is more analytical, planning, math, science, logic, verbal, cautious, and the right side is more intuitive, holistic, emotional, non-verbal communications, and very much more. So basically the two hemispheres are tied together, but they work individually by the faces of left and right side. The two hemispheres are tied together by a bundle of nerve fibers, creating an information highway. Although the two sides of functions differently, they work together and complement each other. In simple words, a brain is one, and it is divided into two parts, left and right side of hemispheres, but it is working individually from the left and right side. But you have to know that brain is one, and whether if it is right side or left side, they are together, and whenever they work together if they are working individually differently or not. But the brain is same. Brain is one, but it is divided into two parts. There is only one brain which is divided into two parts, and they are working individually their own works. And they are both joined together by the corpus callosum, a bundle of nerve fibers which is located in the middle of the brain, and it works as a bridge to connect the both left and right side of the brain together and to join them together. Now let's gather some more basic information about the human brain. The human brain is, as we all know, is very important organ in a human body. It weighs around 3 pounds and in kgs it's 1.5 kilograms, and it contains about 100 billion neurons and 100 trillion connections. As we all know, the brain is full of our nerve fibers and neurons and very much nerves, and in between that brain lateralization takes place. And yes, also make it clear out what we were talking about the human brain weight. 300 to 400 gram is for newborn humans, for the babies who are newborn. 1300 to 1400 gram is for young adults, and 1200 grams are for old age humans. So when we are young, our approximately brain weight is from 1300 to 1400 grams, and when we just start grow old, like at the age of 60 to 65, when we reach this age limit, so approximately around 1000 to 200 gram is the old age human brain's weight. Despite the fact that lateralization is the division of tasks in the brain, there is not a complete separation into the left or right. As I said you before, the brain is one and it is divided only. So both sides are almost always involved in any given task. Whatever you are doing, both sides of the brain are working, but there is one dominant side of your brain, which is either left side or right side, that is more dominant. And that side of the brain is working more effectively than the other side of the brain. The sides of the brain are in constant communication despite the existence of two distinct hemispheres. Anytime you are using your left brain, your right brain is aware of what's going on, or anytime you are using your right brain, your left brain knows what is going on. Just the other side of the brain allows the another side of the brain to work more effectively and more sufficiently than the itself. So that's why people are supposed to be either left-brained people or right-brained people. It means that the one side of their brain is more dominant than the other side. For example, a person who is left-brained is often said to be more logical, analytical, and objective. Like they are maybe more interested in mathematics, science, sequencing, reasoning, linear thinking, facts, and thinking, astrology, logical skills, and reasoning, more universal things, etc. And a person who is right brained is said to be more intuitive, thoughtful, and subjective. For example, they will be more in imagination, they will be more in arts, dance, music, they will be more in non-verbal communications, like from the gestures and many more things. Like they will be indulged in daydreaming, their feelings are more than the normal person, they are more emotional, they are more in creative things, they are more in recognizing faces, which is not the part of the work of left brain. The right side of the brain is best at expressing feelings, like they are more emotional, and creative tasks like dance, music, art, painting, writing, etc. Some of the abilities popularly associated with the right side of the brain we are going to discuss now. As you can see on the screen, if you tend to be more creative or artistic, you are thought to be right brain person. For example, if you have interest in dance, if you have interest in making music, playing instrumental things like guitar and many more instrumental things, and you are more in painting, you are more in writing, you are more in acting, so you are more supposed to be a right brained person. So the right brain is also called as analog brain because it has a more creative and less organized way of thinking than the left side of the brain. So right hemisphere is also called as very much analog brain just because it is more indulge in the language, in the intuition things, in the imagination, in your non-verbal cues, and in your creative things, which is not at the side of left brain. So let's see some detailed information about the functions and characteristics of the right brain. As you can see on the screen, there is a very much long list whatever the characteristics of right brain is. So as you can see, first we will start from the imagination, arts, rhythm, music, non-verbal cues, daydreaming, feeling, visualization, creative things, recognizing faces, expressive emotions, creating music. These are the characteristics of right brain, which is not the part of the left brain at any cost. For example, right hemisphere dominant person is very much indulge in painting, art, dance, music, architecture, writing, not in the study field. It is responsible for non-verbal communication such as gestures, whatever we are making from our eyes. Right hemisphere dominant people usually excel in fields such as, you can see on the screen, right brain functions, which is holistic thought and whatever we said. So the people who are right brained, they are more tend to be a good musician, dancer, or whatever they are, if they are painter, and if they are writer, or if they are in the field of architecture or something which is not related to study. Whatever the functions we said, like artists, actors, writers, singers, dancers, architects, designers, fashion designers, and painters, they don't need to study much more as the left brain people, they have to study. We will discuss about that. As you can see on the screen, whatever the career lists are there for the right brain people are not much more indulged in the study field. So that's why we said the right brain is more indulged in the creative things, which doesn't need to study more. Now let's talk about the left side of the brain. The left side of the brain is considered to be adept at tasks that involve logic, language, and analytical thinking. And the left brain is also sometimes called as the digital brain because it is more analytical and that is more orderly than the right side of the brain. Now let's come to the point and see some detailed information about the functions and characteristics of the left side of the brain. If you are most analytical and methodical in your thinking, you are said to be left brain. For example, if you have more interest in study fields, like if you want to be a reader, if you want to be something graphical in computations, and if you want to be a businessman, we can say just normal, and if you want to be an astronaut, or you are more interested in maths, you are more interested in science, and you want to be a doctor, you want to be an engineer. So that's why we can say, if you think like these things, if you want to study more and you want to be something that you can be only after studying much more harder, so you are said to be left-brained person. As you can see on the screen, we have given some characteristics of the left brain, which is logic, sequences, mathematics, astrology, thinking, facts, science, logic skills, and reasoning. Whatever you are interested in these things, if you are, then you are left brain person. And also the left brain plays an important role in maintaining balance in your own daily life. It involves the movement of large muscles such as walking and physically. It can smell, taste, and sound. It controls the immune system. And also it works best at the body functions like digestion, the beating of the heart, and the breathing, which is definitely related to the respiratory system. It affects the person's ability to pay attention to details and to works, fine motor skills, and as we said, it maintains your daily life's behavior. So let's see, left hemisphere dominant people usually excels in which fields. So as I said before, that if you want to study more, if you want to feel like you want to be a doctor, if you feel like you want to be an astronaut, or if you feel like you want to be an accountant, or if you want to be an engineer or a teacher or a professor, which you want to be something, and that is related to very much hard work, which is related to very much field in studies, like reporters, scientists, doctors, programmer, business analyst, and astronauts, and businessmen. So that is related to your left brain. So if you are left brained person, you want to be, and you tend to be, you will feel like from inside that you want to be something, which is only possible after you attain some kind of a very high degree or after studying very much hard. So now we will discuss something very different. So now we will discuss about the brain injury and effects on the body, like whenever we get any kind of a brain injury and the effects on the different sides of the brain. Injury in the right hemisphere of the brain, first of all we will discuss about that. So brain injury, or also known as stroke, can significantly affect the body. As you know, the brain is involved in the most of the vital processes of the body. So whenever any damage or injury takes place, your each side of the brain affects opposite or on external body. The hemisphere of the brain that is affected by the injury, for example, let's take the right hemisphere, and it is affected by the injury or stroke or damage. So the right hemisphere of the brain is responsible for what? For some of the cognitive functions such as attention, language, processing of visual shapes, patterns, emotions, verbal ambiguity, and implied meanings. So if we get an injury in the right side of the hemisphere, so what it controls, the right hemisphere of the brain controls the left side of the body. As I said, whatever any damage or injury takes place, each side of the brain, for example, right side of the brain is affected from the injury, so it will affect on the opposite of external body. For example, any injuries on the right side of the brain could result in the left-sided weakness of external body, not in the brain. Brain is injured in the right side, but the effect of it will come on the left side of the body. So person who has injury in their right side of the brain, they find it difficult, they find it challenging to focus on, concentrate on a task. They have problem in concentrating on things, they have problem in their language skills or whatever. The patient cannot recall the previously learned information, as well as difficulty in learning new information further, because the right side of the brain, as I said, it is more indulged in the language and the communication skills. That's why a person cannot recall their memories also and the language skills also. The person's social communication skills are affected, such as languages, as I said, understanding jokes, making interferences, and understanding non-verbal cues like gestures. They cannot make gestures, or they cannot understand whatever the gestures people are making for them, etc. And also, if people are suffering from the right brain damage, they can also forget the time, date, and place. Now let's talk about the injury in the left hemisphere of the brain. The left hemisphere of the brain controls the muscles on the right side, as I said, of the opposite side, while the right hemisphere controls those on the left. Whatever the hemisphere is, it controls in the opposite side of the external body. And that is why damage to the left side of the brain, for example, might have an effect on the right side of the body. As I said before, the right side of the brain or damage in the right side of the brain can give the external damage in the left side, so as left side brain damage can give the effect of the external body, which is right side. The left brain hemisphere is needed for rational thinking and logical skills such as mathematics and language. On the other hand, the right side of the brain is responsible for creative activities like arts and connecting to others in an emotional way. Both the left and the right hemispheres has functional specializations, but the left side of brain is directly connected with the right side of the body, and the left side of the brain is directly connected from the left side of the body. So that is the difference between the left and right brain. So since the left hemisphere of the brain controls the right side of the external body, any injuries in the left side could lead to the right-sided weakness of the external body. So damage in the left side of the brain has difficulty understanding both written and spoken words. Person finds it difficult to coordinate or program motor movements for speaking. Slurred speech or change in the sound of the voice, because it is related to the left side of the brain. Difficulties with numbers, calculating, counting and reasoning, and also analytical thinking. Difficulty in organizing things such as arranging information, planning and maintaining the balance of your body. So these are all the part of the left brain. So now there's a time to do a very quick and very interesting experiment right now in front of your phone screens. So we'll do a very interesting experiment to see how connected the right and left brains are. Let's do something. So if we take our right hand to try to pat our head, we will try to pat our head from our right hand, and from the left hand we will rub our stomach with the left hand. So when we will pat our head from the right hand and when we will rub our stomach from the left hand, doing this is almost impossible at the same time, because each side of the brain is sending a different message to each arm. So as those messages conflict, we tend to end up either rubbing the stomach or either rubbing the head, or we can say either patting the head, but not both at the same time. We cannot pat our head and we cannot rub our stomach from each of the arms at the same time, but individually we can do. But patting our head from the right hand and rubbing our stomach from the left hand at the same time we cannot do. This is very impossible. So guys, we have done the experiment, which was very interesting in my views. So now let's get a quick recap what we have learned today in this video. So today we got the topic about the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, which is also called the brain lateralization. The brain is divided into two, which is left and right hemispheres. Each hemisphere is in charge of the opposite side of the body. As I told, the left side of the brain is damaged, the right side of the body will get affected and the right side of brain is damaged, so the left side of the body, external body, will get affected. So the theory is that we all know that people are either left brained or right brained people, meaning that one side of the individual brain is dominant than the other side. And if we are most likely to be analytical, methodical, and we are most interested in science, and we are most interested in thinking, we want to be an astronaut, we want to be a mathematician, we want to be a teacher, we want to be something which is more related to studies. So that's why we can say we are most tended to be left sided of the brain person, so we are left brain people. And if we are more in creative things or artistic things like dancing, music, writing, anything, painting or architecture, so we are most tend to be right brain person, so we can tend to be a right brain person. So as I told you everything about the left and right side of the brain, and also the two hemispheres are tied together by the bundle of nerve fibers which is called corpus callosum, creating an information highway or the bridge, we can say. So without corpus callosum it is not possible to be left sided or right sided brain person. Also the two sides of the brain functions differently. We can say that brain is one, but it is divided into two parts, so they work together and complement each other, but they have their own individual works to do. So each side of the brain controls different types of thinking. Left brain person is supposed to be more in studying or something, and right brain people are more tend to be in creative things, they don't like study more. And damage or injury in each side of the brain affects opposite on the external side. For example, if you get an injury or damage or stroke in the left side of the brain, so the effective part of the body of external body will be the right side. And if the right side of the brain is more damaged or affected from any injury, so the external body side of the left side will be more effective. For example, if a person gets paralysis and it's paralyzed is on the right side of the brain, so what will happen, the paralyzation of the external body will show on the left side of the body, not on the right side. If the person gets paralysis in the left side of the body, so the external paralysis will come on the right side of the body, not in the same side of the hemisphere and the body. Left hemisphere injured or paralysis will show the effect on right external side of the body, so it will show the effect on different opposite side of the hemisphere and the external body. And yes, also we got to know what is the normal weight of the human brain: 350 to 400 gram, as we said for the newborn human babies, 1300 to 1400 gram for the young adults as we are till the age of 50 to 55, and approximately 1200 gram for the old age humans. And human brain weight is 3 pounds, which is normal, and in kgs it is 1.5 kilograms. So today we have got to know a very interesting knowledge about the human brain, lateralization, and the left and right hemispheres of the brains. So we got to know about this in this video, and I was very excited to make this video for my new YouTube video. Yeah, sorry for the pause, but I was very interested to do this video because I was learning about this topic from a very long time, and I really liked it to make a YouTube video on this topic, and it was really very much informative. So guys, if you like it, so you can just give a like, and if you want to give any kind of review to me, you can just comment it down. And yeah, that's all. And I hope you liked it, and I hope you found it very informative and knowledgeable as I found it for myself and for my career future further ahead. So thanks for watching my video, and thank you for watching my video again. Thank you, and I hope you guys have a very good life and very great life, and just start learning psychology because I love it. Thank you. Bye bye.